Hello there. Let me clip this in and we're off. Now, this is the 10th week where we are continuing to do the development from this skeleton that we've studied for all these weeks. I got a kind of harsh light in my face, so I might be blinking every so often, but it's to light up this scene. And I had decided to put the skeleton in a landscape. What you're going to do now, after all these 9 odd weeks studying each part of the anatomy of the skeleton, is that you should have an awareness of this thing as a character. And we're going to animate him and put him into a scene. And that can be whatever scene you choose. You're the creative artist, you have the choice. Whatever you choose is it. So I just chose this random old painting that was lying around from a student, and I'm going to stick the skeleton in that landscape. Last week I was showing you how to paint in black and white the rough underpainting, which is called a griselle, G-R-I-S-E-L-L-E. It was a traditional way of starting a painting, was to sketch out everything in black and white and then to move into the colours and give them layer after layer like onion leaves, building them up upon that structure. So that's what you're doing, and you're creating this from nothing. After we do the background, then we're going to move on to the skeleton and give him some character, but that's for later. So let's see what we've got. We've done this background here, and I've put out some colours on the palette. Now, if you have not, I think I put the sheets of paper in with your large envelopes that I sent you months ago, giving you details of where you can buy art materials from a shop called Blick in Haarlem. And they have a HOSTOS art box for $45, and if you want it shipped, it's $5 to get it shipped to your house. It contains 2 canvases, lots of paint, lots of brushes, and a palette, which is this thing, palette. So, you know, that's a pretty good deal, or you can buy it from Amazon if you're going to do this. Or you can use whatever art materials or techniques you like. You know, just let me know what you're planning and I'll tell you how to go about it. Or hopefully I know what you're planning. You know, you might be planning to paint with something totally weird and unusual. Who knows? So this is the painting side of it. So we're just going to start off in a painting. You're going to have the palette set up. I've put some colours out here for the background. Actually, I need some black paint as well there, so I'm just going to squeeze that out. That's excellent. And you are going to do the background first. But with a painting, you always start with the area that's furthest away from you. Okay, so the thing that's furthest away from you is the sky. So we'll start with the sky. So I'm going to do it with a little bit of blue and green, and that's it. Give it a nice kind of aqua sky. And you can see I'm using the brush here and just punching it in like that. Because I'm wanting to give the sky different kind of tones around here. Now I'm being careful while I'm going around the skeleton, because I don't want to lose my underpainting of the skeleton. I want to be able to see that, because we're going to paint him in later. Okay? So just start with the area that's furthest away. And you can see I'm going round things that I've painted with the black and white, because it'll stand through the painting so that you haven't lost your outlines. If you do it in pencil and put the paint on it, you'll lose your outlines. But this, thankfully, a thin sky, I've still got my outlines. That's it. So those students who were with me last semester, you will have quite a bit of equipment left over so you can use that. And if you're a new student, you're welcome to buy the stuff from wherever you like. I recommend the Blick stuff because I got it all sorted out at a bargain price. But you may be able to find it. And if you didn't get the list, contact me and I will email it or text it to you. Probably text is quicker. Okay. So that's it now. I've gone over the skeleton, but I don't know if you can see that. He's still sticking through it, so I'll be able to go on to him later on and bring him out. Now I'm going to... There we are. Like I said, I think last week, if you want to contact me about where to buy one of these easels at a reasonable price, I think they have some on Amazon, which are these metal ones I like, and they can be quite reasonable in cost. Okay, so that's that roughly done rear sky. Okay, so you're just roughing in the background again. I mean, you can always put some clouds in amongst it. See how I'm doing the clouds? Just pouncing out, pouncing out, pouncing out. I just made up that name, by the way, pouncing. I presume there's another name for it, but it's kind of pounce, 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 like a pouncing cat. You know, it's bouncing back and forth. That's it. So there we go. Yeah, there's some sort of sky behind that guy. And now for the grasses. So take one of the larger brushes that comes with the pack from Blick, and some of the greens and some of that yellow. Give it tone, and again just the same, go on like that. See how I'm doing that? Now I don't know what you might put your skeleton in. You might not want to put him in a landscape. You might want to put him walking in the Bronx, like I said, and I'm just giving you ideas and examples. You are free to do as you want. I mean, I mean, if you don't feel like doing anything different, you can just make him in a landscape using these instructions, or you can do something else. Now I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful here because the grass is darker, so it's going to be easy to lose the bottom part of the skeleton. So I'm just going to have to be that little bit more careful here so I don't lose all the bones, because we're going to have to paint those in later. You'll see that as the weeks go by. Now we're going to delay the art essay, which usually takes place now. I'll come up with that in either next week or the week after, so that's something that we always do, so don't worry about that. It might say that on the schedule of what we're doing, but as some students are still struggling to get this done, we'll just extend it for a week. So I'm roughing in the underpainting. Yeah. And those of you who did the self-portrait class with me will know all about underpaintings, because we do an underpainting of the self-portrait. But you know, you're always learning. Here's an underpainting of just a scene with a skeleton. So that's just the quick rough of the grasses behind him. And I'm working here wet into wet, you know, so that the sky and the top of the grasses kind of integrate together there. Okay. Yeah. And now we're going to go and just do a quick rough in of the tree. So I'm going to use brown and black and a smaller brush, obviously, and I'm just going to paint in the trunk of the tree. Okay, trunk first, not the leaves first, trunk. Remember, you always start with the bit that's furthest away. That makes always sense to do a painting like that. So here are trunks. Let's get a better brush. More of this one. So if you get the Blick set, you'll get a brush with a kind of point that comes to a point like that, which I need now because I kind of lost it there with that brush, which was far too thick. I was getting too confident. So a few branches here, branches there. There they come. And that's just basically black and brown for the branches here. Okay, cool. And we're just going to take this brush and a little bit of green there, because you don't want the branches just kind of like weirdly floating there. They're behind the grass. So I'm just going to quickly flick some grass over them like that. Can you see that? Nice one. And now I'm going back into the concoction I made for the tree. I think I'll put a little bit of real bright yellow in with it, just to make it a little bit different from the grass in colour. Okay, so I'm just going to use the same colours as I used for the grass for the tree branches, but with a little addition of the bright yellow. Okay, here we go. And they are the same thing, you know, it's like these are the... You don't have to paint in each leaf at a time, like you don't have to paint in each grass at a time. It's all done with this. You see that? Yeah. So that is the tree with its lovely... He's in a kind of green background here with he's on a walk in the countryside, our man. Enjoying nature. Which I recommend everyone to do. Go out there in nature if you can. Even if it's just a walk along the street, you're going to see some nature everywhere, because nature is always there waiting. When mankind is long over and done with, nature will reclaim the cities. Only mankind is obsessed with time and worried about all these other things. Nature doesn't care about time. No animal has a clock or a watch. They just enjoy life as it is. They don't go around complaining all the time. Okay, so there we are. Scaly on a walk. Quickly done. The start of the underpainting, and then we're going to look in later on. I'll let that dry. We're going to look in later on and give him some character, because right now he's just a generic skeleton standing there. So, you know, this is the second part of this anatomy class, which is kind of like using what you've learned from the anatomy to give the skeleton some life. Put him in a scene, make him a character. And this is the scene I've chosen. I mean, this is me. I'm the artist. I'm choosing this. You're the artist. You choose what you want to do with it. I think somebody sent me a nice drawing of the skeleton in a... He's lucky. He's in a beach scene. He's kind of relaxed there with palm trees. So put the skeleton where you want and send me the photograph. By text or by email by the Sunday at midnight, and there we are. So it's just a quick thing this week where you're taking what was done last week with the black and white paint and you're starting to work the underpainting, and hopefully you remember all the things I told you. You know, we've got the skeleton here. I'm doing it quite thin in the background so we don't lose his body, and I was quite careful with the darker bit here to keep his legs and things visible, so we can go into that later on, because we're going to animate the skeleton, bring him something, you know, make him a character. So there he is, out on a relaxing walk in the countryside. There you are, Fritz. So, okay, enough. Great to see you all. Take care now. Bye-bye.